Katochin mising chitab kalenjin nyororab emet en koindo cheng'ete ng'etesiet nebo Kass TV nesomon lochutok kwane Victor Korir. Ketaunen county nebo Elgeyo Marakwet ole kakoit 15 koitetab biik chemwaat kele kakobet sobonwek kosubkei ak nyasutiet nebo ngasakanetab ng'wondet nekobit en komosta nebo Chesongoch nemiten Marakwet Eastern County nebo Elgeyo Marakwet. Akot en kasarta netesetai serikali kobun ofisek chebo police ak chebo KDF kosuldaen kakwautik chebo cheng'etab biik chetomo kenyor cheimuch kokanyor kakotenosiek. Kachutatonutab Eldoret minister nebo ribetab kalyet en emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen asikoborionji toksetab biik chekokimutu kong'eten komoswek chebo Chesongoch asikemut koba sipitalit nebo MTRH. Akoi nguni komwaat kele testai konyoru konyoiset biik chesire 21 en sipitalit noto bo MTRH.
Today we came here to respond to this disaster that has occurred in the Marakwet East. We have here 3 wards that have been affected. That is Mbobut and Bolot ward, Endo ward, and Sambrir ward. We have been able to evacuate about 25 injured victims of this disaster, but we still also have more than 30 people who are missing. We can account for about 15 persons who have already died. And so everything is being done here to make sure that this situation is handled. We have proper coordination in terms of on the ground here, led by the Deputy County Commissioner here and the various agencies. I want to appreciate the multi-agency approach, the military, the police, and also the Ngao officers who are here. The county government is heavily involved, and the governor is here himself, and also the Red Cross and other partners who are non-state actors. We will establish a proper mechanism for continued search, and already we have established a desk here for families to report their missing persons, and we will be updating the country in the course of time. I just want to say that this is really unfortunate. We have also used our chiefs to make sure that we move our people to safe grounds in this area. So on behalf of the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, I'd like to send my condolences to the families, the relatives who have lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate tragedy. I want to assure them that the government is doing everything possible to ensure that we support them. As we speak now, we have airlifted many government officials who are here. Food and other supplies are also being prepared to ensure that those who have been affected are taken care of, including getting alternative settlement area for them. And I want to say that this tragedy really reminds us that we must be very careful during this rainy season, especially along this Kerio Valley escarpment all the way from Samburu to West Pokot. And I want to ask our people to be on the lookout. We want to request all of them to go to higher ground and to avoid areas that are prone to landslide, because we already know areas that are prone to landslide. But at the moment, I want to ask the people of Kerio Valley here, people of the 3 wards in Marakwet East, to continue pulling together the way they have done, and to support each other in solidarity, even as we reach out to the bereaved and the ones who are still searching for their loved ones. And I believe that in the fullness of time, we will continue giving an update. I also want to laud the multi-agency approach that has brought together all arms of government and non-state actors and the county government to make sure that we
Agamiten aga Kipchumba Murkomen, Governor nebo Elgeyo Marakwet Wesley Rotich nekoibor kaimetabkei neo akobo nyasutyonotok ak mising ko kosubkei ak nekikoek nyasutik cheu chotok chebitu nekit kila kenyit en komoswek chebo Kerio Valley akoibchin meng'ik chebo county notok asenet neo neboto kabetetab sobonwek. Akot kounotok koibor boiboiyet Rotich en toretet nekonyor meng'ikab Chesongoch kobun serikalit neo mising ko nebo boisietab ndegeisiek chebo helicopter kimut biik chotok kosubkei ak ng'emisiet nekoityi ortinwek en komosatak.
It is sad that last night we had a devastating landslide which has affected majorly due to the heavy rains affected Embabut, Sambirir and Endo, majorly Endo, especially Jesongoch area. And unfortunately, we have so many injured people, but we are happy that the military and the Ministry of Interior, led by Waziri Kipchumba Murkomen, was able to support us to get the choppers to lift the patients to MTRH, partly because all ambulances from West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet could not access the area because all the roads, including the tarmacs, were cut off from Kapsawar to Mogil. We could not actually bring ambulances to this place and even medical supplies. Therefore, the only option was to airlift. I want to most sincerely thank Waziri Kipchumba, the IG, and the CDF, the Chief Defense Forces Commander, Bwana Kariri, for supporting us with the military choppers and the police choppers. And we have seen several have been lifted to MTRH, and MTRH has been very supportive to receive the patients. We want to also to say that we have unaccounted people, almost 29. Families have reported that they have 29 people unaccounted for. Their search mission, supported by Red Cross and the community, is ongoing. And unfortunately, we have lost 15 people, and we want to say pole to all the families. We are also continuing, and we pray God that we get more injured and so that we can be able to take them to the hospital. Already we have 3 who have been reported, and we are going there to bring them again so that they can be lifted to MTRH. Therefore, we want to thank all the people of goodwill who have supported us. We want to thank all the road agencies who are trying to mobilize to repair the roads, and we want to continue to send our condolences to the families of those who are affected. To the people of this region and Elgeyo Marakwet, let's be vigilant. The rains are still here with us. The rockfalls are still happening. The mudslides are still continuing. Let us protect ourselves.
Testai kokon kurset President William Ruto nebo kobit kalyet ak boisiet nebo kibagenge en kwenutab biik tugul chebo emetab Kenya kosubkei ak notok oret neimuktechin emet koityi magutikyik chebo bandab tai en chokchinet. Kotiengei Ruto nekong'ololi en county nebo Kakamega kasarta nekayai tuyet ak kandoik koboto meng'ik chebo county notok en Kakamega State Lodge. Komagat kotestai kandoik ak biik tugul chebo emoni kobois kibagenge kou en maget nekitindoi kora nege Prime Minister wa emoni Raila Odinga.
Haya mambo matatu tukifanya: infrastructure, 10,000 kilometers, complete the railway, complete the airport, 10,000 megawatts of energy, tuweke na umeme ya kutosha kuendesha miradi industrialization, manufacturing, na vile vile tuweke another 1.5 trillion tujenge 50 mega dams, tuzalishe chakula, tuache kuagiza chakula kutoka nje. We become a net exporter of food products. We export rice, we export wheat, we export avocados, we export all those things. I promise you, in 20 years, 30 years maximum, Kenya will move from a third world country to a first world country. Tuko pamoja? Na mimi niko na hiyo mpango. Mimi niko na hiyo mpango. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Hawa wabunge wakireport bunge next week, mimi naanza na sheria ya kwanza. Inaitwa Sovereign Wealth Fund. Mahali tutapanga pesa ya kupanga hii maneno. Alafu wakipitisha ile State Owned Enterprises Bill, mimi natengeneza National Infrastructure Fund ya serikali. Hiyo National Infrastructure Fund ndio tutaweka pesa ya budget, tutaweka pesa ya kutoka our capital markets, tutaweka pesa huko ya privatization, na tutaleverage hiyo pesa ya kutumia public private partnership, tutatafuta pesa ya private sector between 3.5 and 4 trillion shillings. Hii kazi tumemaliza. Na mimi nakuja hapa kila siku sio kwa sababu ya matembezi. Mimi nakuja hapa kwa sababu ya mipango na miradi ya maendeleo, because tulikubaliana na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, Mungu alase roho yake mahali pema peponi. Tulikubaliana na yeye ya kwamba siasa ya zamani ya chuki na ukabila na mambo ya migawanyiko na ubaguzi tufunje na tufungie katika kaburi la sahau, tuunganishe taifa zima la Kenya, watu wote wasimame pamoja, tupange maendeleo ya Kenya mzima, tupange vile tutasonga mbele kwa pamoja. Na mimi nakubaliana na nyinyi watu wa Kakamega, mnakubali tuendelee namna hiyo? Mnasema tuunganishe Kenya pamoja, tutembee pamoja, tupange maendeleo. Na mimi nataka niwaeleze, sio lazima sehemu moja ikose ndio sehemu nyingine ipate. No, we can all have it tukipanga vizuri.
Kagomwa County MP nebo Kericho Beatrice Kemei kole magat en meng'ik chebo county noto komongei akoboisien boroindo nemiten nguni nebo siretabgei koik birikab kura asikomuch kosirgei akonyor ichek boroindo nebo kolewen kandoik chemokyingei en kasarta nebo lewenisiet neo nebo kenyit nebo 2027. Nito en kasarta nekotestai kobur kaimetabgei ofisek cheindochin kakwoutyonotok en koitet nemiten ng'weny nebo biikab emet cheimong'ugei asikosirgei. Kinyoru report nebo Robert Siele.
Kong'alalen kokwetab Koitamat en Enamo en county nebo Kericho en igortab yatetab kot nekotekyi kwony nebo soket en legutab National Government Affirmative Action Fund ngap komwa county MP nebo Kericho Beatrice Kemei kole magat en meng'ikab county noton koibchi kamanut tetutikab siretab biik koik birikab kura netesetai en emet.
Ngot kemoe tutam en rais ko ketil kura. Kemoe tutam en MCA nemoche ko kura. Kemoe tutam en MP, en woman rep, en senator, en governor ko kura. Mi lagok chu kotore sukul, kiyoni kelenen chu mong'u kotore koyoi konyor kibandet asikobir kura. Ako mi kamwa agenge ng'ololi kole shida nekitindoi ko loo yeketile. Atinye kayanet ole sikesom biik kobendat ak kit kikuren ne noton kiiton kitilen asikobit kolyan koityi biik en ground.
Kamwa county MP kole en kasarta netetat kora kotoi serikalitab emoni ketesiosiek chelelach chekibiren kura en emet komokyingei kaitosiekab birikab kura asikotoi kamanutiet.
Polling stations. So kekaseteni new polling stations kemaken sure kele moikemtitos polling stations anan kele biik 100 biik 50 ko karon komotoretech kiy. Ako temwa ketinye tos polling stations ko karon kora ngemwa kele clerks cheboisie ko kasir kora lagokyok. Boisie anan moboisie?
En kasaratan kokacher biikab emet koistongei yautik chemokororon cheboto yeisetab maiywek ako chutyi boisionik chekororon cheipchin icheket kelchinoik.
Amoe kistoengei kit nekiyaak en komosta age. Nekikinam chepyosok sokek akoba barabara kole akiyetu. Kole kibetyo boisiet kotorkwe kitanda barak akekonye konyoru ng'weny. Kotor komiono lot yekesiche. Komakisomote, matiton kesom kikokisom en mokore mokeketyini. Iman anan maman. So amache keesye ng'alechombo maiywek.
Kosubkei ak Ruth Sigei kobun kokwetab Koitamat nekibet manung'otiondenyin en kenyisiek 70 chekikosirto kokikobun inendet uinwek kole kayege konet nelel koaton ak kabungut nebo kasari anan kitchen garden nekanyor kit nekamwa county MP nebo Kericho Beatrice Kemei kole magat kotikimit kanapta rabisiek chekitokyin tetutik cheu choton en emoni.
Tun among'oni ateben ko kapomurtonyun kora koik boisie ateben kabisa ak tun ko kimi mwa kidogo kole nekakewon koaldewon kamurwekuk akochobwon kot koindoni ameny any koindon mpaka inguni. Ko kanisani yeblibin awekyini kongoi kabisa ngamun kikanyonen tuonan kokitomo amyan any ko kialen kaikyowe konyunet nikibo 87 nekikokitunjon amowendi kanisetab Libin ale kacham kabisa kanisanito.
Program ini housing ini amache amwa ale chang biik chemoche support konamgei ak korik lakini resources kou kakomwa mheshimiwa ko tutikin en ngaf lakini ele kakimuch keyoe. Kamache kityo atesyi ale ngunon ngeib kele kakifanishen kwong kinde ng'echerok kinde kitandet kotokor keibu okot chakula anan tugun chekaba chiket komakonu serikali chon bunu eutab mama yona. Mau noton akwek.
So kama nguri akatal kitu kamio long kityo. Awal kotot harusi raini. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. So mekuno sa kono kamu kamangu alenji moyo kuja kinye. Kotai tu kotab harusi asikobit kolya. Ko baita mungakete koteman agoi ara magot kuno ngole.
Kamiten igoroton kandoik cheboto Deputy Speaker and County Assembly nebo Kericho ne MCA nebo Enamo Jeruyot Bet, Eric Bet nebo Kipchebor en kwenutab kandoik alak ak toek cheterter. Kong'eten kokwetab Koitamat nemiten en Enamo en county nebo Kericho, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, Kainenyun ko Robert CLA.
Kakolumda kampunitap Safaricom kobun mornenyin nebo M-Pesa Foundation tetutiet nenat ko Citizens of the Future netokchingei kokanapta somanet en emetab Kenya en kenyisiek 5 chemiten tai. Kobun tetutienoto komoche Safaricom koib oret en sekta nebo somanet kobun teksetab korik cheterter chekiboisien en sukulisiek. Kanetutik chekikochin kanetik kotinygei ak boisietab musoknotetab kasari koboto koitoetab scholarships cheityin kipsomaninik 10,000. Kamiten koratak sirindet neo nebo somanet noto ko Ambassador Julius Bitok nekailos boisietab Safaricom ak mornok cheterter chekikotoret kowal sobonwekab biik chechang kobun tetutik cheisuldoen en sectors cheterter.
I wish to start by extending my gratitude to Safaricom PLC and its philanthropic arms, M-Pesa Foundation and Safaricom Foundation, for inviting me to this important event. I take note of the fact that I have the privilege of interacting with people who have individually and collectively done a lot to improve access to quality education in Kenya. Through your vision and most importantly, philanthropy in form of millions of shillings in education investments, you have impacted for the better of the lives of learners of more than 3,000 learning institutions around the country. Collectively, the initiative undertaken by these two foundations have positively impacted over 3 million learners. And that is at about 25% of the learners we have in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly thrilled by the rallying call of today's meeting, Citizens of the Future. That is COF. If you recall, in July this year, at the same venue we are today, your two foundations hosted another thought-provoking summit on reimagining the future of education to factor in inclusivity and resilience. Today's agenda is therefore a natural progression of that conversation. And it is timely conversation whose significance and timeliness could not be more ideal in the light of development in our education system.
But their dedication to M-Pesa Foundation has laid the groundwork for this transformative initiative. Their invariable contribution have propelled the foundation's progress. And I'm talking about M-Pesa Foundation, but also we can say the same of Safaricom Foundation, leading us to this day where we celebrate our achievements, but also chart a new path for impactful education interventions. So over the years, we've made significant strides in education. I'm especially proud of the work that we have done across many parts of our country, not just through the foundations, but also through our commercial business. I'm sure many of you in this room have heard enough stories or have their own stories of their own struggles during their school-going days. When they ran the video and you saw the state of some of those classrooms, you understand why this is important. So I studied, I would say, in conditions that were far from ideal. But I have to say, despite the fact that they were far from ideal, the infrastructure then was newer because a lot of it was actually constructed in the 50s and 60s. Whilst the infrastructure you see today is now more than 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. So the conditions were not ideal in Gaidedia, but eventually I ended up in Starehe and made my progress from then on. So the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that no child should have to struggle just to learn. And we know that we cannot intervene on all the 25,000 primary schools or all the 11,000 secondary schools, but we can do our part. So Citizens of the Future, it's about changing the narrative that most of us grew with. It's about creating equal opportunities for every learner, regardless of where they come from. I'll briefly talk about Safaricom's intervention, including some of the commercial elements. At Safaricom, our purpose, as you have been told, is driving our purpose, which is transforming lives, drive everything we do. We prioritize.
Kakobit kurset en kampunishek koboto ofisek che indochin kibagengeishek che terter kowal ortinwek cheboisien en boisionikwak missing ko chetinyegei ak tononjinet nebo kiboitinik ak kotoi koityi komonut kelchin neimuch kobit kasarta nekakiityi komonut neo naet ak kimnotet kobun neranik chebo emoni kong'ololen tuyet nebo 29 nekiyai kila kenyit noto nebo National Conference of the Institute of Human Resources nekakiyai en Naivasha komwa Deputy Chief of Staff Eliud Owalo kole tindoi neranik chebo emoni naet nemiten barak missing ko nebo boisietab muswoknotetab kasari ak kounotok ko magat ketoret ichek konyor itondo nekararan en kapkasi asikomuktechi icheket kokon kelchin en emet.
The 21st century workplace is marked by rapid technological advancement, globalization, and shifting workforce dynamics. We are dealing with this new generation born between 1997 and 2012, and they bring in distinctive values, work habits, and expectations that challenge traditional management styles. Managing the Gen Z effectively requires understanding their perspectives within the broader context of organizational politics, culture, and change. And as organizations evolve, good people, leaders must therefore navigate political dynamics, cultural diversity, and transformation processes that shape the Gen Z's engagement, productivity, and loyalty. You must win their support. And you are not going to win their support by coercion, but by persuasion. They look at things differently. More often than not, at times I have visitors at home, and my own children, as opposed to what we used to do when we were young, they walk in, the visitors are in the sitting room, and they just pass and they go to their rooms. When you ask them why they are not saying hi to the visitors, they tell you, I have nothing to do with these fellows. So these are the type of individuals we are dealing with. Yeah? So Gen Zs are the first truly digital generation, raised in a world of constant connectivity, social media, and global awareness. These people have got a lot of information at their fingertips. But they value authenticity, inclusivity, flexibility, and purpose-driven work. Unlike previous generations, they seek collaboration over hierarchy. They seek transparency over control. And they value innovation and creativity over tradition. So you are not going to win their support by telling them that this is the way things are done within the organization. No. They want to experiment. And you must allow them more often than not to make mistakes and use those mistakes as a learning experience moving forward. These attributes also make them sensitive to workplace politics, rigid cultures, and poorly managed change processes. So you need to understand these dynamics. This is key to managing them effectively in the modern organization. We cannot underscore the fact that organizations should today stand a better position with regard to reaping high productivity levels by exploiting the energy, the skills, the agility, the creativity, the innovation of the youth. The introduction of new human capital management initiatives would therefore be crucial at this point in time. Their productivity in the workplace therefore calls for diversity, inclusivity, empowerment, and belonging, concept of strategic human resource management. That cannot be gainsaid. In terms of technological uptake, personally, I don't believe that technology should replace human capital, but it should augment it. Before the AI revolution, the world experienced the Industrial Revolution, where political elites determined the role of technology in progress and economic development. That Industrial Revolution made countries like Great Britain a world power because political elites allowed the creators of the idea of ownership and the creation of productive economy.
Chizab kolenjin choto kolegab emet chekaitunen koindo ketesiet nebo Kass TV nekosomonun kwane Victor Korir testai iker ketesiet nebo Kass TV amun kimnatet naet amakun kembout nekararan.